All right, start laying down on your back in a lying down butterfly position, Supta Bakasana. So you have the soles of the feet together. Soles of the feet together, knees open wide, and then you just close your eyes for a moment here. You can place the arms maybe on the floor, on the stomach, maybe overhead. Sometimes I like to take them in a little diamond shape overhead. And connect to your Ujjayi breath, breathing in and out through the nose, slightly constricting the back of your throat so you can hear the sound of your breath. And see if you can make those inhales and exhales even longer, because that's really what sets the pace for the practice. So you go at your own pace, you follow your breath. Sometimes you might be a little slower, a little faster than everyone else, and that's okay. Throughout the practice, if you need to rest, remember you can always come into a child's pose. That's your resting pose. From here, let's begin to hug the knees into the chest, rock a little side to side, maybe draw a couple small circles on your lower back in one direction and a couple circles the other direction. Good. Now let your arms open up to the side like a T. Drop both knees over to the left and turn your gaze to the right for a gentle spinal twist. And take it the other way. Drop your knees to the right side. Turn your head to the left side. Good. Now bring it to center. We're going to start off with a little core work. Keep your arms out like a T. Straighten your legs to the ceiling and flex your feet. Now, if your hamstrings are feeling pretty tight today, you can also do this with your legs bent 90 degrees. Start to slowly lower your legs back over to the left side while resisting gravity, keeping your right shoulder down. So if you feel your right shoulder lift, you stop there, and then you bring your legs back to center. And then you take it the other way, nice and slow. Lower the legs to the right side while keeping that left shoulder down, and then bringing it back to center. Start to slowly take your legs side to side at your own pace, keeping both shoulders down, trying to relax the neck. You might go about halfway over with the legs, maybe 3/4 of the way over, but they should never touch the floor. Let's do one more on each side. Make sure you even it out, right? One more on the left, and then one more on the right. And then once you've evened it out, bring your legs back to center. Bring your fingertips behind your head. Your elbows are wide. Now it's called a double crunch. First, we'll lift the shoulder blades and stay up there. Then lift your hips off the ground and then lower it back down. Lift your head and shoulder blades off the ground. Hold. Lift your hips an inch or two and then back down. Good. Keep going at your own pace. Double crunch. Head, shoulders off the ground, and hips. Just a couple more. Again, just waking up our core here at the beginning of our practice so that it can help us out later. One more double crunch. And then bring your head down. Take your hands right by your side now, right by your hips, palms flat on the floor. One more exercise here on our back. Leg raises, now they're going straight forward. So you lower your legs as far forward as you can without arching the back, maybe bringing them to a hover, and then you slowly lift your legs back up to the ceiling. Go slow and controlled, pull your belly button down, try to press your lower back into the mat, and just start to take those legs up and down, resisting gravity. Last one here on our back. Now, on the next one, everyone go to your lowest point, wherever that is, and just hold it and hover for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Take a full body stretch. Reach your arms and legs long. Stretch out your abs. Get as tall as you can. Then hug your knees in. Rock and roll. Forward and back 2 or 3 times. Massage your spine. And then when you come up, we're going to meet in a forearm plank. So interlacing the fingers together. Elbows right under the shoulders, and then walk your feet back to your plank position. Feet about hip-width distance apart. Push the floor away with your arms. That's an important action to learn in yoga. Pushing the floor away, making space between your face and the floor, keeping your body here in a nice straight line. You can hold here or float your right foot up just a couple inches for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch legs, left leg up. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Child's pose. Bring your big toes together, your knees wide, forehead down, and stretch your arms out in front. First child's pose of the practice. So again, checking in with your body here, checking in with your breath. pressing those hips back to the heels as you reach those hands away. Keep your legs as they are in your child's pose, but walk your hands to the right side of the mat and put your left hand on top of the right. So you feel a little stretch through the left side of the body. And then walk it to the left side and put your right hand on top of your left. Now bring it to center, come up to a tabletop position. Hands under the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Inhale, drop the belly, arch your back, and gaze up, cow pose. Exhale, tuck your chin in and round your back for cat. Inhale as you arch, starting to warm up your spine. Exhale as you round. Good, one more time. Inhale to arch. And exhale to round. And then find a nice flat back after that last one. Lift your right arm up and thread the needle. Thread your right arm through the left, put your head down. Walk your left hand forward. Maybe crawl your left hand a little bit over to the right. Walk it back into your tabletop and switch sides. Peel the left arm up and thread it through. Put your head down, walk your right hand forward, maybe a little bit to the left side. Back to tabletop, back to your hands and knees. Now opposite arm and leg, right arm goes forward, left leg goes back. Again, using your core to find your balance. Exhale, bring your knee and elbow into touch or just as close as you can get them, like a crunch. Inhale to extend and reach. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend. One more time. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend. Now maybe you hold it here, or you can try bending the back leg, reaching your right hand back for that left foot and kicking it back, finding a little bit of a back bend there. Good. Stretch it out long. Place it down and switch sides. Left arm forward, right leg back. Find your balance. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend it out and reach long. Good. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend. One more time. Knee to elbow. Then extend it out and hold or bend the leg. Maybe left hand grabs that right foot for a little back bend. Good. Let go. Stretch it out. Place it down. Now we'll come into our first down dog. So plant the hands shoulder width. Tuck your toes and lift your hips up. First one of the class, maybe bend one leg at a time. Walking out your down dog, stretching your calves, your hamstrings. You can also bend one elbow at a time. Anything that feels good here, kind of checking in with your body. When you're ready to settle into that down dog, shrug your shoulders away from the ears, pushing your chest back towards your thighs, pressing more weight into the heels. Inhale forward to a high plank position. So in high plank, shoulders, elbows, wrists are stacked, feet are still hips width. This is just to measure out how far apart your hands and feet should be for down dog. So you keep them here, but lift your hips back up, downward facing dog. Inhale, glide forward, high plank. Exhale, down dog. One more time. Inhale forward, high plank. And exhale, down dog. This time now walk your feet up to meet your hands. Take a few steps, ragdoll, feet hips width. Bend your knees a lot and grab opposite elbows and just let yourself hang here in this forward fold. Maybe you shake your head a little, yes and no, relaxing your neck. You can sway a bit side to side, shifting the body weight from the right foot to the left foot. Or sway forward and back, shifting from the balls of the feet to the heels. Release your hands to the ground. Now take your right foot. You might need to use blocks too. Remember, if you have blocks, you can put your hands on blocks. Cross your right foot behind your left. So my left leg is crossed in front. And you might need to bend the knees here as you fold. If your legs are straight and you want to add on, walk your hands over to the left side of the mat, like a little semicircle. Again, don't be afraid to use your blocks. or water bottles or other things that you have to put your hands on. Walk it to center. Now switch your legs. Cross the right foot in front of the left, folding forward, maybe walking it over to the right side. Good, back to center. Uncross your feet, bring them back to where we started, hips width distance apart. Bend your knees, roll up to stand. One vertebra at a time. Good, lift your arms all the way up. I know you can't see my arms, but your right hand will grab your left wrist and pull it to the right. So it's just a little side body stretch. And then you switch. Your left hand grabs your right wrist and pulls it to the left. Good, back to center. Bring your hands to prayer position and walk your feet together at the top of the mat. Sun Salutation A, Surya Namaskara A. Again, just for today's purposes, we're going to review the traditional Sun A and Sun B, but then the rest of the semester we'll kind of mix it up a little bit. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale to a flat back. First one we're going to all modify together. So as you exhale, your hands come down, you step to a plank, and then you put your knees down. You're in a modified plank position. Hug your elbows in and slowly come all the way down to the floor. That's your modified chaturanga. Now untuck your toes so you feel the tops of the feet on the ground. Cobra pose. Inhale, lift your chest. Just a small back bend. Cobra is very small. Good, lower down. Push back up to your knees to that modified plank. Then tuck your toes under and meet back in your downward facing dog. So as we flow through our Sun A's a few times, remember that version if you need to go back to it. Look forward, step, or if you want to add a little jump, hop your feet to the front. Both feet together now. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. Fingertips either on your shins or on the floor. Exhale, forward fold. Now use your flat back. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands to heart center, to prayer position. Good, so this next one, I'm going to do the chaturanga on the toes and do up dog instead of cobra. But if that doesn't feel right for your body, stay with the version that we just did on the knees. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, lengthen, flat back like a table. Exhale, plant your hands, step to high plank. Now from the toes or from your knees, it's like a tricep push-up. Hug your elbows in and lower halfway, chaturanga. Flip over to the tops of the feet. Inhale, up dog or stay with cobra. If you're an up dog, it's going to be a little bit deeper back bend. Good. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look at your hands, step or hop both feet to the front. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more time, all the way through. Surya Namaskara A. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, flat back. Then plant your hands. Exhale, you can step or even jump back. Chaturanga, low push up. Inhale to your back bend, up dog or cobra. Exhale to down dog. It always starts and ends the same way, standing at the front. So look forward, hop or step to the front. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take a couple deep breaths, reset there. So Surya Namaskara B, Sun B, the main difference is we add in our chair pose and our warrior one pose, but the chaturanga part is the same. So you can still do the chaturanga on the knees. You can do cobra instead of up dog if you want. From your hands in prayer position, now lift your arms up and bend your legs for chair pose, Utkatasana. Knees and feet together. If you glance down, you want to try to be able to see all 10 toes. So push your shin bones back a little. Very nice. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. This part is the same. Exhale, step or hop back. Chaturanga from the toes or the knees. Low push up. Inhale, up dog or cobra, your choice. Exhale to down dog. Now from our down dog, we always start with the right side. Lift your right leg up and step in between your hands. Setting up for warrior one. So take your back heel and pivot it flat on the ground. And as many steps as you need. If your foot doesn't get up there, use your hand and lift your foot up and scoot it up there. Now make sure your left foot is turned in about 45 degrees. And as you come up, start with your hands on the hips for this first one. So again, the back heel should be flat on the ground. The left leg is straight. We're bending the right leg. Find the bony parts of your hips and try to steer them a little more forward so that they're square to the front. Then you can lift your arms up. Warrior one, Virabhadrasana A. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step back, Chaturanga. If you want to skip it altogether, you can go straight to down dog. That's always an option too. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale to down dog. Other side, lift the left leg up, step it between your hands, pivot that back heel flat on the ground. Set up your feet first so you feel stable here, then come up with the hands on the hips. So again, your right heel is flat on the ground, turned in about 45 degrees. Try to square your hip bones like headlights on a car, pointing straight forward. Then you can lift your arms up. Virabhadrasana A, warrior one. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step back to Chaturanga, low push up. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. So sun B ends the same way it started with that chair pose. Look forward, step or hop, both feet to the front. Feet together. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, chair pose. Utkatasana, lift the arms up. Now from your chair, just press up to stand and bring your hands to prayer position. That was one sun B. That's all we're going to do today, but you'll practice it more this week on your own. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, swan dive back down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hop or step. One more Chaturanga, low push up here. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. And then this time, bring your knees down for child's pose. Right? Sun B should definitely warm you up, right? That's the purpose of it. Now you just take a few breaths, reset here in your child's pose. Come up to tabletop. We're going to set up for Dolphin Pose. It's just like down dog, but on your forearms. So bringing your elbows down. Grab onto the outside of your triceps there. That's to measure it out, to tell you where your elbows should go. Keep the elbows there and then extend the forearms. So your forearms are parallel now. Your palms are flat on the ground. Your middle finger's pointing straight forward. Now keep your arms exactly like that. Tuck your toes under and lift your hips up. Push the floor away with your forearms, just like we were doing kind of in that plank pose earlier, making as much space between your head and the floor as you can. So you can freely move your head. It's not touching the ground. Walk your feet maybe an inch or two closer to your elbows. If it feels okay here, walk your feet together in the middle. And if you want to add on, lift your right leg up really high and hold for 5, 4. Nice, everyone. 3, 2, 1. Switch legs. Put that right foot down, left leg up. Last 5. Keep holding your dolphin. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Child's pose again. Drop your knees down, reset. Bring it back up to tabletop. Puppy pose. It's going to stretch your shoulders. So keep your hips over your knees. Don't sit your butt back. It's not a child's pose. From this tabletop position, just walk your hands forward and try to bring your chest to the floor. So I know it looks funny. Your hips are going to stay sticking up in the air. See if your chin and your chest can touch the floor. If your chin doesn't reach, put your forehead down instead. But you should feel a nice deep stretch in the shoulders and the lats and the back here. And it feels good usually after dolphin pose. Walk your hands all the way back in. And now we'll meet back in our downward facing dog. Reset here in your down dog. Look forward, step or hop both feet up to the front to meet your hands. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. Exhale to fold. Back to our chair pose, Utkatasana. Bend the knees, lift your arms up. Now we're going to stay in chair. Bring your hands to prayer position. Try to twist your left elbow outside the right leg and push into your hands, working your hands right to the center of the chest. Glance at the knees, make sure they stayed side by side. Don't let one slip in front of the other, right? They want to be right next to each other. Now from here, you can choose to keep your hands in prayer or opening the arms, left hand to the floor or the block, right? So anytime if your hand doesn't reach the floor, you can put it on your block or your water bottle or your book. And release, fold forward. Separate your feet hips width. At least 2 of your own fists should fit between your feet there. That's just to measure it out. Now make a peace sign. Those 2 fingers are going to grab your big toes. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Now you might have to bend the knees to get a hold of the big toes. That's okay. If you can do it with straight legs, then go for straight legs. Elbows out to the side. Relax your neck and pull yourself closer to your legs. Padangusthasana. Release your toes. Now we'll go to the other side. So you walk your feet all the way back together. Bend your knees. Utkatasana, chair pose. Hands to prayer. Sit a little lower and twist your right elbow outside the left leg. Working the hands towards the center of the chest, keeping the knees next to each other. Maybe opening up the arms. Right fingertips to the floor or a block, left arm up. Again, this is just a variation. You can keep the hands in prayer. Good, everybody fold forward. Now this time, take your feet wider to the edges of the mat, turn them out 45 degrees and drop your hips down. Malasana, prayer squat. If you have a block, if you want to sit on it, you can sit on a block if that's better for your knees or your hips. If you feel like your heels are lifting off the floor, try taking your feet wider apart, right? They don't have to stay on the mat. Use your elbows, push those knees, inner thighs apart, press your chest forward to lengthen your spine. Nice. Now from here, you can stay here or open the arms. Right shoulder inside the right knee, right hand on the floor, and maybe peel that left arm up. Back to center. Other side, left shoulder inside the left knee, left hand down, right arm up. Good, back to center. Now we're gonna practice our crow pose. If you have a block, I want you to use it. I'm gonna show you how. Walk your feet in and you're gonna put your block on the short level. If you don't have a block, you can still do without the block, but I find the block makes it easier at first. And you're gonna put your feet on the block. And then my hands are shoulder width distance and I bend my elbows a little bit and I put my knees on my triceps. And you can stay here, but the block already lifts your feet 3 inches off the floor. So it makes it a little easier. So you lean forward and maybe lift one foot off the block, maybe lift the other foot off the block. Bakasana, crow pose. If you don't have the block, you're just doing it from the floor, the normal crow pose. Hands shoulder width, bend your elbows, same position. Knees up high on the triceps, lean forward, maybe lift one foot, maybe lift the other foot. Keep looking forward. Look past the edge of your mat. Don't look back at your feet because then you might accidentally fall on your head. Let me see how you guys are doing. Yeah, stick out your chin, right? Stick out your chin. Look past the edge of the mat. Even if your feet don't lift today, maybe just setting it up, right? Maybe trying one foot, then the other foot. The more you lean forward, the lighter those toes should get. There should be no jumping in crow. Your arms are literally a shelf for your knees. Brittany, try bringing your knees in a little bit tighter so they're not sticking outside your armpits. Yeah, I know your dog's there too, but I could tell. Good. When you guys are done, child's pose, we're going to come back to it a few times. So just rest for a moment in child's pose, right? Let your arms relax. Maybe in this child's pose, you can bring your knees all the way together and your arms alongside you so those shoulders can round forward. Sometimes that feels nice, just a different variation. When you're ready to move, let's go back into our downward facing dog. Plant your hands, tuck your toes, lift your hips up, reset there in your down dog. Lift your right leg up, step in between your hands. This time we're coming into Crescent Lunge. So it should be a little bit longer stance than what you had for Warrior One. Your back heel should be off the ground, and then you lift your arms up. Now, you can always modify Crescent Lunge by putting the back knee on the floor. So if you're having a hard time balancing, you can just drop that left knee down. If you're in the full Crescent Lunge, that back leg is straight. Now, just like we did in chair pose, bring your hands to prayer position and twist. Left elbow outside the right leg. And work on bringing the hands right to the center of the chest. If you put the knee down, you still do the same twist, even with that knee on the ground. If you want to try opening the arms, left fingertips to the floor on the outside of the leg or the block, and the right arm twists up. Carefully try to come back up, crescent lunge. High crescent lunge, arms back up. Open to warrior two by pivoting your back heel flat on the ground. So now your back foot is parallel to the back edge of the mat. You have a big bend still in that right leg. Looking at your right hand, flip the palm up. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, half moon. Right hand comes about 6 to 8 inches in front of the foot, maybe on a block. Left leg lifts up, so it's a balancing pose. Focus your eyes on one point. Flex the left foot. If you're having a hard time balancing, I would keep your gaze down at the floor. If your balance feels good, then you can look up towards that ceiling to make it harder. Very nice. Carefully step back to warrior two. Try to reset your feet there for a moment. Inhale, reverse warrior again. Reach back. Exhale, windmill the hands all the way down to the front and step back. Chaturanga from the toes or the knees. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Other side, lifting the left leg up. Step it between your hands, starting in crescent lunge. So you're on the ball of the right foot and lift the arms up. If you feel like you're on a tightrope, move your back foot a little more to the side. You can also drop that back knee to the floor if you need to. Hands to prayer position, twist, right elbow outside that left leg. Engaging that back leg a lot if the knee's off the ground. Hands can stay in prayer, or you can work on opening up the arms, keeping that right arm on the outside of that left leg. Good. Engage your legs, use your core, carefully come up, crescent lunge, reach those arms back up. Open to warrior two, pivot that back heel flat on the ground, hips facing that side wall. Look at your left hand, flip the palm up, inhale, reverse warrior, reaching back. Exhale, half moon. Walk your left hand about 6 to 8 inches in front of that baby toe, closer to the corner of the mat. Open up the right hip and flex the foot, and then peel the right arm up. Focus your eyes. It's a balancing pose. Bend your standing leg, step back to warrior two. Adjust if you need to and refine that warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, windmill your hands to the front, big step back, chaturanga, low push up. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Lift the right leg up. This time, step it out wide to the outside of the right hand. And then drop your back knee down for lizard. So you're going to untuck your back toes. Your right foot should be at the edge of the mat, knee over the ankle. If your knee is sticking out past your toes, use your hand and scoot your foot more forward. Then hands or elbows on the inside of the foot. Or if you have your block, if the elbows don't reach the floor, you can put 1 or 2 blocks under your elbows. If you don't have blocks, you can always stay up on the hands, right? Whatever works, just getting as low as you can here, enjoying that stretch in the right hip. Now come back up to your hands if you're on your elbows. Stay here, we're just gonna take a different variation. Turn your right foot out to the side about 45 degrees. Your knee is still pointing the same direction as your toes. Put your left hand down and twist your right arm back towards the back of your mat. You can stay there or grab onto that left foot with your right hand and pull your heel as close to you as you can, stretching the quad of that back leg. Again, if you can't reach the foot, still do the twist, but just keep the foot on the ground. Let go, go back to down dog. Step back and just go straight to down dog. Lift the left leg up, step it forward to lizard pose outside that left hand. Drop your right knee down. Make sure that your knee is over your ankle And your toes are pointing straight forward for the first pose. And then hands, elbows, or blocks on the inside of that left foot for your lizard, stretching into your left outer hip. Press up to your hands. Turn your left foot out 45 degrees. Put your right hand down and twist. Peel your left arm back and look back and maybe hang out there. You're still getting a good stretch in the hips here. Maybe you can bend that right leg, grab the foot with the left hand and pull it towards you, stretching the quad of that back leg. Let go. Go back to down dog. Step back, reset, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up, step it between your hands, come back to crescent lunge. One more time on this side, high crescent lunge on the ball of that back foot. Look at the floor, start to lean forward, airplane. Sweep your arms back, palms face down. Again, another balancing pose. Use your core to balance. This one, your hips are square and level. Flex that left foot. Bend your leg, go right back, crescent lunge, big step back. Nice. Open up, warrior two. Pivot that back heel down. Open your arms out like a T. Now reverse warrior, but stay there and straighten out your right leg. Reverse triangle. As you start to come up for triangle, bring your left foot in 2 inches. Shift your hips back. Reach forward. Place your right hand on the shin, ankle, or foot. Left arm straight up to the ceiling. So both legs are straight, so you might have to come up a little higher on the shin if your knee is bending. Create length in the sides of the waist. Be long through the spine here. Lift your torso back up and come back to warrior two. Walk your left foot back out 2 inches and rebend your front leg. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, windmill the hands to the front, step back. Chaturanga, low push up. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Lift your left leg up. Last time, let's step it forward to our crescent lunge position, starting on the ball of the right foot as you lift your arms up. Then look down, start to lean forward, airplane, Bakasana. Sweep the arms back, palms face the floor. Flex your right foot, all 5 right toes are pointing towards the mat. Bend your left leg and then take a big step back to crescent lunge. Very nice. Open to warrior two, pivoting that back heel down. Reverse your warrior and straighten out your front leg, reverse triangle. Now, as you come up for triangle, we have to shorten the stance just a little bit. Bring your right foot in a tiny bit. Shift your hips back, reach forward, place your left hand on the shin, ankle, or foot, right arm straight up to the ceiling. Lift back up and come back to warrior two. Walk your right foot back out, rebend that front leg. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, windmill your hands to the front and step back. Chaturanga, low push up. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale to down dog. Now step to the front. We're going to try our crow pose just one more time today, Bakasana. So again, review. Plant the hands shoulder width. Bend your elbows a little bit and lift your hips up and put your knees on your triceps, not the outside of the arms. You want your knees to get as close to your armpits as you can. Then stick out your chin, look forward, and start to lean forward. The more your shoulders come in front of the fingers, you should feel just your big toes touching the floor, and then maybe you'll be able to float those feet off the ground. Bakasana, crow pose. It's all about that shifting of the body weight forward, keeping those hips up. And then once you get comfortable there and you're working on holding it longer, really push the floor away with your arms, rounding your back like that cat stretch. That's where you're going to feel that core helping you out. And again, maybe today it's one foot, maybe the other foot. And then eventually it's like, oh, you can hold it for 1 second, then 2 seconds, right? Then 3 seconds. It takes time. Nice, Shelby, really good. Good. If you want to keep trying, give it another 30 seconds or so, 1 or 2 more tries. When you've had enough, we'll all meet back in our child's pose with the big toes together, knees wide, forehead down. Good. Start to make your way back to downward facing dog. Step to the front of the mat, roll up to stand, 1 vertebra at a time. Tree pose, right foot can go either on the ankle, the calf, or you can use your hand and bring it all the way up to the thigh. But make sure you're not putting it on the knee. Your foot is either above or below the knee. Start with your hands in prayer position. Push your foot and leg into each other and focus your eyes. If your balance feels good here, maybe lift your arms all the way up to the ceiling. Bring your hands back to prayer if you moved them, and then release that right leg. Shake it out. Very nice. Other side, left foot, maybe like a kickstand on the ankle or on the calf, or use your hand to help bring it up to the thigh. Just don't put it on the knee, above or below the knee. Focus your gaze. Hands can be in prayer, or you can lift your arms all the way up to the ceiling. Nice. Hands back to heart center and release the legs. Shake it out. Meet at the top of the mat, feet together, hands to prayer position. Inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, step to plank, but don't do chaturanga. Just hold your plank for a second. And then lower to the ground, all the way down. Good. Forehead down, tops of the feet on the mat, squeeze your legs together. Airplane your arms, so your palms face the ground by your hips here. And lift everything up. Arms, legs, chest, lift up as high as you can here. And keep your gaze down so you don't crank on your neck. So you're using the strength of your back muscles and your glutes. Keep holding for 5, 4, good, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Let one ear come to the mat. Relax. Now you can repeat that one, or you can add on by interlacing the fingers together at your lower back. Forehead or chin down, squeeze the legs together, and then lift back up. Shalabhasana, locust pose, either hands interlaced or airplane arms. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Bring your other ear to the mat. Relax your arms. Now feet stay hips width for the next one. Superman, reach your arms forward. Thumbs pointing up, and then lift everything back up. Sometimes it's a little bit harder with those arms forward, but just lift as high as you can and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Now, one more back bend. You can pick any of the ones we've already done, or you can do bow pose, Dhanurasana. Bend the legs and grab the outside of your ankles. So if you can't reach, you could do one leg at a time, or you can pick one of the other back bends. Kick back through the shins and lift your chest. It's okay to rock a little forward and back to help you, and then lift up a little higher, but really strong through your legs and hold. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Bring one ear down. Let go of your feet. Keep your knees bent. Windshield wiper your shins side to side to release your lower back. And then press back to a child's pose and reset your spine. Come back to downward facing dog. Setting up for our half pigeon. Lift the right leg up, Bend the knee and put your right knee behind your right wrist. Slide your left leg back as far as you can. Now, if you find that this bothers your right knee, please lay on your back and make a figure 4 shape instead. Your hips are square to the front. Again, we're trying to get that back leg as far back as you can. If your hips are off of the floor, you can put a pillow or a block underneath that hip if you need to, under the right hip. Now, if your hips are on the floor and square and they're pretty flexible and you want a little more, you can start to move your right shin a little more forward. Maybe just a couple inches, or the furthest that you would go is a 90-degree bend in the knee with your shin parallel to the front edge. If you do move it up there, make sure you flex your foot and then you fold forward. Flexing the foot is just going to keep it active and help you to protect your knee. Now, if you decide that you move the leg up there and it bothers your knee, don't do it. Just move your foot back in closer to you. So you should mostly feel this in the right outer hip. And you might feel it in other areas depending on what's tight, but we just want to make sure there's no pain in the knee, just a good stretch in the hips. Walk your hands in and then go back to a 3-legged dog. Lifting that right leg up in the air, open the hip, bend the leg, maybe draw a few circles with the whole leg or with the ankle. Or if you want another chaturanga, you can take a vinyasa in between sides. Whatever feels good. Eventually we'll meet in down dog. And then when you're ready, you'll switch sides, lifting the left leg up, bring that knee forward for your half pigeon, putting your left knee right behind that left wrist, sliding that right leg back, making sure you're not leaning to the left. You want your hips square to the front and the weight even between both hips. You can use props under the hip if you need to. You can keep your foot tucked in close to you, or you can start to inch that left shin a little more forward as long as it doesn't bother the knee. Flexing the foot if you do move it. If you keep your foot close to you, you can just point the foot or relax it. And then once you get your legs set up on this side, finding that spot to fold forward, stretching into your left hip. Walk your hands in. Last downward facing dog. Lift that left leg up again. Open the hip, bend the leg. Any final movements that feel good to you. And then just kind of check in with that last down dog, right? Notice how it feels compared to the beginning of your practice. Notice how your body feels. Then we'll step to the front and have a seat. Extend your left leg out straight and take your right foot, step it across. So your right foot's flat on the floor. Your left arm can hug the knee, or you can try to hook your left elbow outside that right thigh. Right fingertips are going to go on the floor behind you to help you sit up nice and tall as you twist. So left elbow to right thigh. Left elbow, right thigh. Yeah, opposite elbow to the thigh. There you go. And again, if it doesn't reach, you can also hug the knee. Sometimes that works better too. Keep sitting up as tall as you can as you twist. Now, untwist. Keep your left leg where it is, but we're going to move that right foot next to the inner thigh. It looks like tree pose. Now, if it bothers your knee, having that foot up so high, move your foot down closer to the calf instead. Sit up tall, flex your left foot, fold towards the left leg. Grabbing wherever you can reach, the leg, the foot, or if you have a strap, you can put your strap around the foot. Slowly come up and switch sides. So extend the right leg straight, starting with the twist first, stepping your left foot across flat on the floor. Your right arm can hug the knee or hook the right elbow outside that left thigh. Left fingertips behind you, helping you to sit up tall as you twist. Now, as you untwist, move that left foot either next to the thigh or the calf, flexing the right foot, sit up tall, and then fold forward. Janu Shirsasana, head to knee pose is what it translates to, but your head may not come actually to your knee, maybe to your shin. Maybe you're just getting as close to the leg as you can, folding forward. Now slowly come up, one more seated pose, butterfly, Baddha Konasana, feet together, pull your feet in, hands on the ankles, and use your elbows to try to push your inner thighs down as you fold forward. And you can keep holding like this if that feels good, or you could just walk your hand out and try to fold forward a little more. Slowly come up, bring your knees together, roll down onto your back, rock a little side to side. Then we'll keep just the right knee hugging in, straighten your left leg on the floor. Squeeze your right knee to the right shoulder. Open your right arm like a T. Spinal twist. Use your left hand to twist your right knee across your body as close to the floor on the left as you can, while at the same time trying to keep that right shoulder down. Maybe turning your gaze, looking to the right. If it bothers your neck though, just keep your head in a more neutral position, looking up. And bring it back to center. Hug both knees in, neutralize the spine in between sides. Keep your left knee hugging in, straighten that right leg out. Squeeze your left knee to your left shoulder. Good. Open your left arm out like a T and use your right hand to twist that left knee across your body and over to the floor or as close to the floor as you can, and maybe turning your gaze to the left side. Spinal twist. Last pose here before Shavasana. Bring it back to center. Give both knees a squeeze one more time. Wrap your arms around your shins. Curl up into a tight little ball. Bring your forehead up to your knees. And then letting it go. Coming into Shavasana, our final relaxation. Extending the legs out long and letting the feet just fall open nice and wide. Arms relaxing alongside you, palms facing up. Take your shoulders, see if you can shrug them down a little bit further away from your ears to help keep your neck long. And as you close your eyes, clear away any last remaining thoughts. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Exhale all the air out the mouth, letting it go and letting your muscles relax deeper into the floor. Slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Start to bring some small movements back to your body. Maybe drawing a few circles with your wrists and ankles, moving them in both directions. Maybe gently moving your head a little bit side to side. Anything that feels good to you. And then when you feel ready, reach your arms overhead. Reach the legs long. Create a nice full body stretch, getting as tall as you can. And hug both knees into your chest and roll over to one side, coming into a fetal position. Keep your eyes closed. Use your hands to help press you up into a comfortable seated position, crossing the legs and sitting up nice and tall. Bring your hands together at heart center, Anjali Mudra. And we just take a couple last deep breaths here, scanning the body, noticing how it feels after your yoga practice today. Let's take one more nice deep inhale through your nose. Exhale all the air out the mouth, letting it go. Lifting your hands to your forehead, your third eye center, and bowing forward. Namaste.